got one in the back? Yep.
And hi, Kyrie. We didn't see you guys on court before Game 4, and we can feel this slight more tense atmosphere in the locker room before the Game 4. And now during the shooting practice, you were joking around, having fun, smile, and we can feel that it's lighter right now. And I want to know how much lighter is the atmosphere among you guys, and how we could help during the game.
Yeah, I don't want you to mistake us smiling and joking around with each other and being in practice, for a weakness or that we're not taking this any more serious than we were in Game 4. I just think we're here in Boston. We're just trying to settle ourselves. We had a meeting, just as a squad at the hotel where we went over film. So we're pretty locked in from there, and there was carryover into our early minutes in practice. And then when you guys come in, pretty much having fun. It's been this way since we were kids. We want to make sure we relish in this moment, don't take it for granted, and just ground ourselves here too. I think the last 2 games we were even more intense. When we were here in Boston, don't think we got as settled as we would have liked. So we just wanted to try some things a little different. A little bit more smiling, and then 24 hours from now getting ready for all-out battle against this great Celtics team.
4th row on your right, on the aisle.
Kyrie, I just want to ask you about your growth, your evolution, spiritually, off the court, on the court. It seems like every interaction that you have is very, very positive. You see that just in your body language, with your teammates on the court. You see that with the chemistry, and you see that when you talk to the press. It seems like there's been a tremendous growth. Can you speak to that? And also, how have you evolved in your view since you left Boston in 2019?
Well, to answer your first part of your question, I would I would be being dishonest if I just took the time to say thank you for putting those words together. In terms of my interactions with people being majority of the time positive. I'll be honest with you, it's not always positive all the time. I'm human. Sometimes there's some misunderstanding or miscommunications, and it takes a little bit of a longer, thorough conversation just to get on the same page. I think I've just figured out in my life that a lot of people just want the time and space to be heard. They want to be listened to, and then if they respect you and you respect them, then they'll listen to you and give you the space to, give you the space to say how you feel as well. I've talked about it over the past few months, just where I was in 2017 or 18 when I first got traded here to Boston. I wasn't in the place to be able to vocalize my feelings or know how to do that. I was learning how to be a man, learning how to be a father. So part of that evolution came from that of, taking the time to go inside and figure out who I wanted to become. But also I had to accept some of the choices I had done in my life. And, when you look at yourself in the mirror, sometimes you don't like what you see, and that could lead to some depression or lead to some anxiety or lead to other mental health issues. And that's a big thing that I think our generation is spearheading, where I hope that the older generation can take a lesson out of our book that, this isn't just some spiritual 70s type of mantras that we're trying to put out here. We actually believe in what we talk about in terms of meditation and having the ability to slow your life down and making sure that you keep your priorities straight, because the world isn't going to care about how you feel mentally all the time or whether or not you are healthy when you're at home or taking care of yourself. So you got to figure out that space for yourself and figure out the village and the tribe that you want to have around you that supports those goals that you have personally. So I don't want to get too preachy again here. How I could speak for hours, but just that's been the growth since 2017. Even before then, just learning how to be a person in this world, making an impact in a positive way.
David, back left.
David Aldridge, The Athletic. Kyrie, you played in a place in Cleveland that had incredible pressure to win a championship because of the history, and they hadn't won in so long. I wonder, though, what was different about when you came here because of the history of this franchise and the almost expectation of this franchise that every year you're supposed to win a championship here, and if you don't, it's a complete failure.
Yeah, I mean, when I look back on it, getting traded here, this wasn't one of my options. It wasn't like number one on my list. So when the trade opportunity got approached to me, instead of going back and appreciating the Celtics' history, I just came in with an open mind and just kind of like, all right, I'm just going to go with the flow into this. But I think that was the wrong approach, just being young. But now that I'm a little older, hindsight looking back on it, I definitely would have taken the time to get to know people within the community, talk to some of the champions that have come before me, actually extend myself to them instead of the other way around, expecting them to be there for me and give me advice. Because they've been through it. They have championship pedigree here. They've shown it for years. They're one of the most winningest franchise in all of sports. So you have to show your respects here. And I think that's what I struggled with initially, was figuring out how I'm going to be a great player here while winning championships, while also leading a team and selflessly joining the Celtics organization or the cult that they have here. And that's what they expect you to do as a player. They expect you to seamlessly buy into the Celtics pride, buy into everything Celtics, and if you don't, then you'll be outed. And I'm one of the people that's on the outs. I'm perfectly fine with that. You know what I mean? I did it to myself. They don't welcome me in with warm embrace, even though I know a lot of people in the organization and my friends still here, some of them. But yeah, it was just a doing to myself, and that's what I was talking about in terms of accepting the choices. But looking back on it, definitely would have showed my respect and had more of a counsel around me from some of the Boston Celtics that came before me to explain what the pressure is like. So,
If it's at all possible, it is impossible to take yourself out of the equation, but just what is it like for a player to come here to Boston when you look up and you see all the banners and everything, you know what this franchise is about and what the expectations are?
yeah, I mean, you just expect to have a magnifying glass on you everywhere you go. I don't think Boston appreciates being kind of second class in New York in terms of the media capital world, but this is a media capital world as well. There's a lot of history here off the court, so the community is integrated into the Celtics team. That's probably the best way I could say it. The community is what makes the Celtics great here. The Boston pandemonium. That's what makes the space so loud and so special, and they take pride in it. So if any player is coming here, getting drafted here, or thinking about coming here free agency or getting traded here, I just think do your homework and make sure you know what you're getting yourself into. That's something I could offer.